All right, welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett,
I'm Dorian.
and we got the nerd news for you.
We do. So we're going to be talking about Chris Hemsworth in Thor: Love and Thunder. Is he going to be Bro Thor? Is he going to be Jack Thor? Stay tuned and you'll find out. We're also going to be talking about Sony's integration into the MCU, possibly like some ideas on what that's going to be looking like. And Valorant is going to be coming to mobile. So more thoughts on that in a second. But first things first, Donnie Yen is coming to John Wick 4, which I feel like this is a no-brainer kind of move. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't he be in John Wick?
Yeah, it's like the natural progression of this series. I feel like because they had the guy from the Raid. The bad he was the bad guy in the Raid in the last movie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, he didn't like have a huge role. He was like just one of the henchmen.
and then you
For
had what was his name? The other guy, the
uh,
main bad guy. I can't remember his name.
the Japanese guy.
The bald guy. Yeah,
I forget.
yeah.
I know his
He's
name
in a
is like
ton of stuff.
Mark Draskos or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that.
I forget how you
I
pronounce
just
his last name.
Yeah, Donnie's not going to be a villain, at least not on paper right now. He could
Yeah,
turn out to be one. We don't know. But his character is said to be an old friend of Wick who has a similar past and similar enemies. Sounds like Batman kind of got his Robin for this movie, being,
kind of.
John Wick and Donnie Yen teaming up. So at least maybe for part of it,
Yeah,
I'm hoping he plays a bigger role than I think we both think he might play. Because typically
yeah.
it is a John Wick movie. It doesn't matter if you're Halle Berry. It doesn't matter if you're, this, that, or the other guy. You're not going to be in the movie that much because it's about John Wick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're common or anything like that, or Willem Dafoe. Typically you're in it for like maybe a chunk. You have a couple of scenes, and then it's like, all right, you're done. So I think, yeah, it. Again, great addition, but I think I can definitely see them giving him like something like a Halle Berry role where she had a few scenes. She made an impression and then she was out, and that was pretty much it. Granted, I definitely think we'll probably
And I'm
see
sure
how.
I'm sure she'll be back for the movie.
I definitely
Yeah.
think we will see her pop up at some point in time in one of the future John Wick movies, because it definitely seemed like there was some loose ends on her end or something like that, or some stuff that needed to be tied up. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Bro Thor is no more.
No more.
So filming just wrapped up on Thor Love and Thunder, and Hemsworth looks back to form and even better than he probably has in any other MCU movie.
Yeah, I
Dorian's going to pop up the picture probably either over here, down here, wherever it is.
yeah.
But him and Taika Waititi posted. Chris posted to his Instagram, but it's a glory shot of him trying to look like a male model, Fabio vibes is what I'm
Yeah.
getting. And then
Oh, big time Fabio
Taika's
vibes.
wearing like kind of a mocap type suit. But he's wearing like the actual armor that maybe is it Korg? Is that his name in the movie? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think it's Korg. Yeah, the rock guy from
Yeah. It looks like he's probably gonna be
yeah,
playing him
from
again.
Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm sure.
yeah, I'm about this. I'm glad Bro Thor's gone. It was kind of funny, but come on. It's Thor Love and Thunder. Maybe the
it
whole
was,
premise of the movie is him getting back in shape to woo Jane back into his arms.
hard to say. Granted, like this is I mean, Bro Thor was probably the most shocking thing that came out of Avengers Endgame, and there was a lot of stuff that happened in Avengers Endgame for sure. But no, I think I'm actually kind of surprised by this move on Waititi's part, because I kind of feel like he would fully embrace like Bro Thor somehow in the script here, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a one and done kind of situation. Because right now he looks more jacked than he's ever been. I think like it's like insane.
Yeah.
Like his arms are like
I
tree
mean,
trunks.
because of Bro Thor, yeah, we got to see him play some Fortnite
Yeah, we
against, what
did.
was it, Noob Master or Noob Smasher, or I can't
New,
remember his name.
yeah, something like that. Which they
But
they did
apparently
reveal.
he's like, yeah, like
They
he's
did they
actually like a character and could have leaked some information to help the Avengers or something. I don't know.
well, actually, like I don't know if you saw the commercial, but like there was like a Best Buy commercial that was teaming up with uh essentially like being like a promo for like Falcon Winter Soldier and also like like Xbox Series X or something like that. And the
Hmm.
guy that's like showing Sam Wilson like all the games that he needs to catch up on since he's been like snapped out of existence for the last 4 years. He's like, oh yeah, my gamer tag is Noob Master such and such, and it was like the one from Endgame here. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So Seth Rogen, as we know, is making a Ninja Turtle movie CGI. He recently tweeted that the movie's coming out August 11th, 2023. He also tweeted out some rough drafts of story beats, or maybe how they're going to define certain things in this movie. Looks like it's going to be almost like a whole new origin for the Turtles, kind of like a reboot, essentially.
yeah,
Because like he had different stuff on there, like mutagen. What does a mutagen do? And then so he's working through that and like what the Turtles are going to come from. So isn't much on it else right now. Just glad to see it's kind of moving forward, and we got a release date now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you know, yeah. I mean, cool. We got a release date. It's moving forward. Yada yada yada. But I mean, I still haven't really heard or seen anything about this movie that really actually has me like interested or excited or anything like that. I just kind of feel like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I feel like doing Ninja Turtles animated, that might not be a bad way to go. I mean, I feel like it's definitely easier to do it an animated Turtles movie than a live action one. I just kind of feel like we haven't
Oh, for
really.
sure.
I just feel like we haven't really found like a good stride or like a good niche for the Turtles outside of like in terms of like movies outside of like the 90s or something like that here. I kind of feel like they've tried rebooting Turtles like a few times. Like they had that animated movie like I think 2007 or something like that. Then you had the Michael Bay
Yeah.
movies, and those are okay. But yeah, I mean it's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, how many more times are we going to reboot something? I mean, is this going to be like essentially the new Terminator franchise where they're always rebooting, trying to figure out how to like make Terminator relevant for, you know, the modern era of
And then,
movies.
yeah. I mean, it's something that will never die, I don't think. Turtles, Batman,
Yeah,
those things are constantly getting rebooted, and they're
yeah,
constantly hits for the most part.
yeah,
So I mean, I don't know if they can go wrong with this unless it's like way out of left field. I know the second Ninja
yeah.
Turtles movie, like the newer one with Michael Bay, didn't do too well, but I enjoyed it as a Turtles
Nah,
fan, like um
sure.
so
We
but
got to
anyway,
see live action Bebop and Rocksteady here.
that was clutch.
But
So yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Something big's happening in the MCU if you didn't know. Potentially. We'll
uh,
see.
you know,
Uh
potentially.
yeah. Sony movies are potentially becoming a part of the MCU. Now take this with a grain of salt, but a Sony executive recently hinted that Spider-Man No Way Home will create a shared Marvel universe. The quote is, "There is a plan. I think now maybe it's getting a little more clear for people where we're headed, and I think when No Way Home comes out, even more will be revealed." So pretty ominous,
Yeah,
like vague statement. But with all
yeah,
the rumors and stuff of it being a Spider Verse movie, and like that Doctor Strange, this is maybe even setting up Doctor Strange. Well, is Doctor Strange out before this? The new one? Do you remember?
no, Doctor Strange will come out. Yeah, no, Doctor Strange is going to be coming out after No Way Home. I think it's actually going to be March or sometime in spring of next year. So,
So
so
my guess
we're
is that like this is going to set up the whole multiverses coming together, and then Doctor Strange is going to be dealing with the repercussions of that. So I'm guessing
yeah,
Spider-Man's going to be in that movie as well. There's already rumors he is.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is Spider-Verse. Doctor Strange will make this a possibility, and I'm totally cool with it. Basically, we're gonna get all the Sony titles essentially might cross over with what is the current MCU. So that means we get a Venom. I don't know how they're gonna play that though, because the way that they've portrayed Venom up until this point is he's kind of a hero. He's not a villain,
Well,
and so
anti-hero, yeah,
yeah, in a way, I guess. But I mean, you saw it in the last movie. I mean, he was trying to, he was saving people, but yeah, he was biting heads off of dudes and stuff. But to me, he's a hero in that movie.
yeah,
But yeah, he's an
yeah. Fair
anti-hero. He
enough.
doesn't do things
Fair
the
enough.
way that Spider-Man does it, I guess. But he gets it done. So it'll be interesting dynamic to see those two slinging webs in the same screen. So
Yeah, yeah. I think it would definitely be interesting for sure. I mean, the question is because um it's one of those things where because it's all but confirmed that Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire are coming back for Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, granted, both of them are,
and Greg. If you've
and
seen
who
the little video that came out that not Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland did you see
I
that?
no, I didn't. But but
Oh, it was just like a goof vid that he put out. That was like there was some guy that walked by him in a Spider-Man suit, like behind him. He was in a Spider-Man suit too, so he must have been filming. And he's like,
oh,
he's talking to the camera like it's a reporter, and he's on his phone like. They're like, yeah, it's Spider Verse. He's like, no, it's not Spider Verse. And then the other Spider Man walks behind him, and he's like, Greg, what are you doing here? And then
oh,
he looks
gotcha.
at the camera, and he's just like,
Gotcha.
so, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so but that being said, it's kind of one of those things where it's like obviously, the multiverse is probably going to be a pretty big factor in that. We're more likely than not we're going to see Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man come back into the fray. Question is like, okay,
Yep.
so now are they going to use like one of the previous Spider-Man to like uh for like like the Venom Craven uh thing, or is it going to actually merge into like MCU and we are going to actually get Tom Holland and Venom and Craven and Morbius all on the same screen together, or how is it going to work? Just because I kind of feel like with like Venom's tone, I feel like that would almost be like more fitting for like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, kind of the more
Andrew
darker,
Garfield, yeah.
the
Yep.
more darker tone per se. But we'll see. I mean, I don't want to like. I mean, it definitely seems like if I had to be a betting man, I would say it's obviously going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And just the age difference between Tom Hardy and Tom Holland pretty significant,
Yeah,
where uh uh Tom's, I don't know how old he is now,
I was
but
probably
I mean,
40, I would
as far as
imagine.
in the movies, like in the comics, I think that Eddie Brock is a few years older than Peter, but not like decades older
Not
than
not
Peter.
right, not a significant amount. I mean, because like in Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still supposed to be a
High
high
school.
schooler. Um, and I would say, Eddie Brock and Venom, he's in his 30s, maybe mid 30s, somewhere around there. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you remember that great Super Mario Bros. Movie from 1993?
I remember a Super Mario Brothers movie. I don't remember there being a great Super Mario Brothers movie. So So enlighten me on this
Yeah, me
great
neither.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So basically, that Super Mario Bros. Movie, some people won't even call it Super Mario Bros. Movie because it literally resembles nothing of the Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
It has an extended cut making its way around. So I have a quote right here. This is from IGN, but it says the never before seen footage includes a subplot that was cut from the original release involving Bob Hoskins, Mario, and John Leguizamo's Luigi competing with a mafia affiliated plumbing company. That's interesting. Other new additions include Dennis Hopper's Koopa executing a henchman by submerging him in slime, and supporting characters Iggy and Spike performing a rap after the film's climax. Additionally, various scenes throughout the movie have been re-edited and extended. So the cut itself is about, I think they said 30 minutes longer. So the movie was only in 102 minutes, and I think it put it at 132 or 122. I can't remember if it was 20 or 30 minutes. But it's already in like an hour and 20 minutes too long, if you ask me. This movie, as a kid, I thought it was funny as a kid, but I also was just like, this is nothing like the games. Like, how is this? Like, when is Yoshi showing up? And
Mario.
then, and then they get that weird dinosaur thing. I was like, no, 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 no. So, and then that Koopa was a person. That was odd to me. Like I don't know. The Goombas were weird to me, if you want to call them that, like Spike and whatever their name was. It was just a weird movie. Okay,
Yeah.
They had those jumper boots. Those were the coolest part. Those were the coolest part of the whole movie when they got those boots. I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I want those. But Zack Snyder should reboot this movie.
I feel like this is getting the Snyder cut already here. We're getting 30 minutes of footage that nobody really asked for and all that.
I want 5 hours of footage I didn't ask for.
Right. And I mean, and I feel like, if Zack Snyder was around, like, making movies during like the 90s and all that, he probably would have made this one too. I mean, he like, I still have a,
why not?
Yeah, I still have a, looking back at, this movie, I still have a hard time believing that this movie exists, like that, because Mario is such, like, nowadays such an established franchise. Like, what it is, the Mushroom Kingdom, that they're green pipes or turtles, you know how things are supposed to go. Like, nowhere in there is there like a cyberpunk version of Mario. Like, it blows my mind that this movie, like, exists. Like, looking back at it, if I was a kid nowadays and you told me that, yeah, there's a cyberpunk version of Mario, I'd be like, you're high. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But
well, you got to think too. This was when which game would have been coming out? It wasn't Super Mario World yet, was it? Would have been Super Mario Bros. 3.
Well, see, when did this movie come out? You said
World
93?
might have been out.
You said 93.
So
yeah,
they're filming probably 92. Yeah, they're probably filming in 92.
Yeah, Super Mario World, I believe, came out in 91, 90 or 91, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So Super Mario World was already
So it was pretty successful already.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like, yeah. So it's
weird.
Crazy.
I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about Valorant a little bit, because this is a game we both played just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a game I would, if I had time, I'd probably sink a lot of time into it, because it's a fun game. It's competitive.
Yeah.
I'm just not a PC guy really, and it's only on PC, except until now. And you might be thinking it's going to come to consoles, but you'd be wrong. So basically, after this game's been out for about a year, Riot announced that Valorant will be coming to mobile devices, not consoles, which is crazy to me with how precise you have to be in this game for it to be on a mobile device at all. Like, for those of you who don't know, this is like a super Yeah, super competitive FPS, and it's like
Yeah.
you're just trying to get headshots the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like you're
mean,
just peeking corners,
I
peeking corners. You know, like it's really
yeah.
hard.
If I had to describe this game, I would say it's like something like Rainbow Six Siege or Counter Strike meets
Counter Strike
Overwatch
for
for the
sure.
most
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
I'm
That's a great way of putting
so I
it.
mean yeah. So I mean, but it's been one of the most watched games on Twitch for the last year. Like it's one of the most popular games right now. It's kind of stealing Overwatch's thunder for the most part, as kind of being that you know that kind of more uh niche team shooter basically for by and large. Um and I mean, yeah, you and I we played it on PC for a minute and all that with a buddy of ours, and it was I mean, granted, I just don't play games on PC at all, so it was kind of hard for me to get into it, but by and
Me
large
neither.
it,
Yeah,
it was like the game is like it's a good quality game and whatnot. It's just like I was just kind of sitting there thinking like, okay, maybe if this actually came to consoles, I would give it more like the time of day, or I would actually like
I
give
would
it the
too. Yeah,
give it the due that it probably deserves here. And it really is surprising to me that we are getting this on mobile as opposed to a console here. I mean, it's like I get maybe just because they want to kind of appeal to like maybe the younger fan base or like kids or something like that. Say, hey, here's a free game that you can play on your mobile devices, and if you have an iPhone and you can't play Fortnite, you can play this instead here. So it's like, but again, it's like
yeah,
this seems like a no brainer for consoles, and I'm really surprised that we're getting mobile for this game as opposed to consoles. So
yeah. I think that the next step has to be on console, and like you said, I would totally touch on this game more if I didn't have to boot up my PC and I only have like a laptop. I don't have something that's super powerful.
yeah,
And this is something that doesn't need a lot of power, but it does, it does take a little bit of processing. So like something like the Switch could easily run it, even
yeah,
even compared to like PS4, PS5 or Xbox.
yeah.
So it could be on everything,
It
literally.
could, it,
So
it
I really
could.
don't see a reason for this. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're willing to put this game on mobile, there should be no reason why you're not willing to put this on console. In all
Yeah.
honesty, I mean, if here's the thing, if you wanted just to make this solely a PC game, I get it, just because you have the accuracy with the mouse and keyboard in terms of like shooting and whatnot, and that's primarily if you can get that whole thing down, like that movement and just that control figuration, like you can be like more accurate than you can on a console. I mean, that's just kind of the facts on the ground for the most part.
Right.
But the fact that they're willing to
Yeah.
put it on mobile, like one of the hardest things to like actually control on touchscreen wise and all that, it doesn't make any sense why you're not putting this on console, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it'll come eventually. It's just I don't know what they're doing, but
Yeah,
especially since it's a free to play game. So,
yeah,
all the only things you buy are cosmetic in the game. So it's not a pay
right,
to win, which is dope.
right.
All right, let's
It
talk
is.
about God of War. So, God of War Ragnarok has been delayed. It's now coming out 2022 on PS5 and PS4. A
Yep.
PlayStation studio had recently talked about the delay, but also said that Horizon Forbidden West is on track to release this holiday season. What are your thoughts on this, Dorian? Because this is kind of your jam, this game.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, God of War on PS4, which is going for like $10 on the PS4 store right now. So I mean, if you haven't played it, go pick it up. I mean,
I
it's
might pick
like
it up. I might pick it
it's
up.
it's it's easily one of the best PS4 games here. Um, but yeah, so that being said, big fan of this game. Really excited about the sequel, and um and I think we all saw this coming, to be honest with you. I mean, I think the fact that we didn't really see like much of like a cinematic trailer, like really any in-engine footage. Kind of was was a good indication that this was not going to actually come out this year, even though they kind of soft announced it for this year, but I think we all knew that it wasn't. So that being said, I am
Yeah.
somewhat disappointed that this is not going to be a PS5 exclusive, just because I feel like, for one, the PS5 could use like a nice first party killer app, instead of just getting like Ratchet and Clank and whatnot. Like if this was like going to be made from the ground up for the PS5, like I think it would have been probably better off by and large, but we'll see. I mean, granted, you're going to have a huge audience that's going to be able to play this game on PlayStation 4, so it's going to help your sales here. But and then obviously, this whole thing about Horizon, it's good news for Horizon fans here. I mean, I think it's something that Sony does need going into the holiday, just like some big tentpole game for the PS5. Even though it is coming out for PS4, I think you're gonna get you're gonna have more people want to play the best version of this game, which will be PS5. So
Yeah, for sure. God's favorite console and company, Nintendo,
mm-hmm.
and it is going to have an E3 Direct announced next or this week. This week. Or sorry, no, it's next week. Next week, Tuesday,
well,
June
well,
15th.
well,
I'm
yeah,
getting confused because when this comes out, we
yeah,
still
it
got
will.
another week until it
Yeah,
comes out.
it
Yeah.
will be next week. Yeah, when this
So
podcast
next
launches.
next week, next Tuesday, June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. The direct's going to be roughly about 40 minutes long, and we'll have 3 hours of Treehouse Games demos after. So this is concerning on a lot of levels. Why don't you talk about your concerns, Dorian?
So we know that the Switch Pro it basically exists without actually being officially confirmed. We've heard too many rumors from pretty reliable sources that this thing is going to be coming out, and it's going to also be coming out sometime before the year's over, like maybe in the fall. We'll see. But 40 minutes for a direct. I mean, here's the thing: if there was like no Switch Pro on the horizon, I would say, okay, yeah, 40 minutes is probably going to be enough for like, E3 Direct. But the fact that you're going to be essentially, quite possibly revealing the Switch Pro at this Direct, and then you also have to show all the other games in the same amount of time, I feel like that's not enough time to actually show that here. I mean, I'm really hoping that it's the rumors are true that they are planning on revealing this thing uh before
Yeah.
E3. That way we can actually get like a proper E3 Direct that's just solely just focusing on games here. Just because I mean there's stuff that I want to see a nice bit I want to see and hear from. Obviously Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime. Like, there's just a lot of games that I feel like they could just really just start popping off on. And if they're gonna spend, like 20 minutes talking about games and then 20 minutes talking about the Switch Pro, I feel like that's gonna be a little disappointing. So
Yeah. And based on the some of the YouTube channels I follow and stuff like that, it feels like we could have been duped at this point because I heard, like, it sounds like you heard, Nintendo was going to have an announcement last week and nothing really came of it.
right.
There was all this traction leading towards, I think it was Thursday or Friday of this last week, that actually it was Thursday, I'm pretty sure, June 3rd, that Nintendo had this
Mm-hmm.
announcement and that it was going to be the Switch Pro. And so people were speculating, like, what else, how's this going to impact E3? And nothing happened. And I don't know where these rumors started or anything like that, but it wasn't just one YouTube channel reporting on it. It was like multiple. And so
Yeah.
maybe before this podcast comes out, something has been announced. Um, But that's kind of what we need at this point. We need a separate video announcing the Switch Pro. You know, it could be a 20-minute direct just about the Switch Pro or whatever, and then use this other 40 minutes to talk about Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2, and then some indie titles. Let's get a Hades 2 in there because that game is so good. I've been playing it a lot lately, or as much as I can lately. You know, it's honestly, if it's 40 minutes and they do announce a PlayStation Pro.
Wow. Hold up.
Or sorry, not PlayStation. Nintendo, like a Switch Pro or Plus, whatever the heck they're going to call it. You know, it's just not enough time, in my opinion, to announce the console and have a demo and have these other games get announced. Unless it's like the 40 minutes, it's just the Pro and then a couple games, and then the Treehouse, the demos are like, hey, here's this other game coming out, and here's a demo of it. You know, like something like that.
I mean, I feel like probably what's going to end up happening is you're not going to see much like, you know, demo gameplays during the direct. I feel like that's where the Treehouse is going to come in. I think what we'll get mostly in the direct is mostly like trailers showcasing like games. So we'll probably get a new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. We'll get like a new Smash Bros character trailer and all that. And then after the show's over,
Splatoon 3 also, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Splatoon 3. Yeah, that's probably that might be another one that's included in that lineup here. So, but that being said, so we'll probably get that, you know, those trailers cut after the show's over, cut over to the Treehouse and say, hey, here's an hour's worth of Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay here. Here's an hour's worth of or like half an hour worth of Splatoon 3. Here's you know, some Metroid Prime 4, God willing. So, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah, we will. Well, that's about all we got. Anything else you wanted to add, Dorian?
No. I mean, just waiting for E3 here. You know, I mean, it's news has been kind of slow as far as like, you know, like
we're gonna be busy
news.
next week. We're gonna be
wow.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy after this next week. So 2 weeks, I guess.
Yep, we will.
Yeah, E3's on its way. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on all our socials. You know, have an awesome week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.